such a interesting movie. I mean, you had to really be holding on to your seats in the theater as these storms were coming. So my first question is for you, Sarah. You've been in the zombie apocalypse of The Walking Dead. So what's worse, an E5 or a zombie apocalypse?
I want to say the tornado because you can get rid of a walker.
Yeah.
It's almost a fair fight. There's nothing you can do about a tornado. I think that's part of what makes, you know, these weather movies keep coming back and back and back in our culture.
Yeah.
You can't fight Mother Nature and win. And it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying because it can come out of nowhere. You got a beautiful, clear day, and 10 minutes later, you're in the middle of a twister.
Now, people in the Midwest and the Plain States and even parts of the South are, you know, used to tornadoes happening kind of routinely. And with these weather patterns changing, do you think this ever gonna be a threat of this type of storm coming to like the West Coast, to Los Angeles or something?
I mean, just recently we just had, you know, that crazy, you know, thunder and lightning storm over Venice Beach. So I think, you know, to say that that's not the case would be silly. You know, you got to think past that. So many things are changing right now. Clearly, you know, weather patterns are not what they used to be, and things are not what it's just not what they appear. So now, you got to open your mind up to thinking that yes, anything is truly possible, and it's Mother Nature. Why not? You know, why not?
Yeah.
There's that one in Connecticut just a couple days ago, right? I don't think they've ever had.
Yeah, and there's so many things that we don't even understand. You know, or we think we understand that. Oh, guess what? It's not what we said it would. Yeah, anything is possible.
Hey, Allison, what's happening?
Keep filming.
Whoa, guys, look at that! Grant! Oh my God! Yeah! Get in this! Dad! Trey, get out! Run to the back!
I play scientists and meteorologists in this story. Do you think meteorologists are getting like a sense of what's going on, or is this just Mother Nature and we'll never really understand it fully, or is this like some reversible process? Which do you?
Well, it seems like things are changing, and you know, I think meteorology and climatology and scientists are trying to catch up and keep up. But, you know, science works off of data, and we don't have 1,000,000 years of data. We don't have 100,000 years of data, so I think it's very difficult to kind of get a sense of what's happening. I think there are a lot of really smart people putting their heads towards keeping us as safe as possible, and, you know, treating nature with as much respect as possible so that she will hopefully be gentle on us. But it feels right now like we're laying track in front of a moving train.
Yeah, and as far as like, you know, reversing the process, my personal thoughts, I don't think we should be trying to necessarily, if we don't know how to reverse something, that's fine. What we should be planning to do, in my opinion, is, you know, trying to, you know, get ahead of it and learn how to prepare for anything, you know, because you just don't know, you know. You know, if you think that you're because of where you live, something just can't happen, well then you're really, you know, in a bad spot. I think we just prepare ourselves for anything across the board.
Really looking forward to seeing you in the Whitney Houston picture.
Yes, thank you.
You and what you got coming up. But Sarah, before we go, I know that you've been dedicated to the IRC and to refugees around the world, and there's so many refugees, whether Liberia with the Ebola, or Syria, or what's going on in Palestine. What do you think just the general society can do to help shed light or to these people's causes?
Well, you know, I mean, I think it's difficult because I think a lot of us can feel really overwhelmed by it and really kind of disempowered about it. And it's part of why I go to these places and write about it, to try and just educate people a little bit about what's going on. I know with IRC we try and do the most fundamental thing you can do for somebody, you know? Feed them when they're hungry, clothe them when they're naked, give them health care when they're sick, educate children. And you know, there's a lot of fires burning in the world, and I feel personally very powerless sometimes to do anything except pour as much compassion and love towards the most vulnerable people in the world as I possibly can. And my hope is that what it does with the next generation is, you know, you've got kids in these refugee camps who are going to grow up and remember, hey, when I was weak and vulnerable, somebody reached out and they helped me, not because we were the same ethnicity or race or spoke the same language or had the same religion, but because we were two human beings, and there is a respect and a dignity that gets to exist between two human beings no matter what the circumstances. Hopefully, if enough people start getting on that page, then we start coming together, and hopefully in the next generation there are fewer refugees because there's less conflict. It's the only thought I can have.
Absolutely. Well said.
You're watching BLACKTREE on TV, only on Soul of the South.